my life. Just my life. I've been here since 1936. And without it, I don't know what I would have ever done.
Burton Avenue is a sense of community. It's an internal part of what Allendale stands for, type of thing, and there's a lot of history with Burton Avenue. And I think there's a lot of good people, and that's what keeps Burton Avenue going.
I know all the people here, so it's not new people or anything really. I know them all.
Because I like the singing and I love God's creation and I love all the stuff that they do at the front.
To me personally, the church itself, the people in the church have been like a big family to me. I'm not from the Barrie area and just moved here about 5 years ago and was so warmly welcomed to that. This is kind of an extension of that welcome. It's been really great, and so hopefully it'll pass on that same warm feeling to more people like me.
The congregation is 121 years old now. This building, and the congregation's, the original building was a little frame building on Gowan Street. That frame building is still there. It's a double house at the moment. You can see it. I've forgotten the number. In 1894-95, the congregation decided to buy this lot, and erected the present building. So the building that we're in at the moment is 100 years old. This is I guess a railroad community, and many of the women, particularly in our congregation, are the widows, the wives of railroaders, many of whom have gone. My experience of Allendale goes back to when I was a kid. Used to come up to Collingwood on the train for 2 weeks holidays with my dad, and the train would stop at Allendale. I still remember that. We'd get off the train and switch and go up the other track. I guess it's not a railroad community anymore, but there's certainly a sense of the Allendale neighborhood still amongst us. But Allendale has changed dramatically in the last 10 years, and our people come from all over the city now, but we still serve this neighborhood of Allendale, and we're going to stay and continue to do that. A vote was taken 10 years ago that this congregation should remain here in this space in the middle of the Allendale neighborhood. If we're going to remain here, we need to do these kinds of things, and that's really what this is all about. It's a matter of being here for another 100 years and doing the kind of ministry that this congregation is really capable of doing in the neighborhood.
What is the place where we are meeting? Only a house the earth is for, walls and a roof sheltering people, windows for light, an open door. Yet it becomes a body that lives when we are gathered here, and know our God is near.
I think in terms of the reason for this project really dates back to a number of projects that the church has worked on over a large number of years. We've gone through a process of revising our organization structure. The church has worked on developing its mission statement and some goals and objectives over time, and I think this project is really an outgrowth of a lot of the work that's been done in the congregation over the last few years. It started a number of months ago with some direction from our church board, and a number of individuals got together and consulted with various groups in the congregation, and they really identified a number of areas that they wanted us to spend some attention on. One was the sanctuary, the worship space that we had. One was energy efficiency in the building itself. One was increasing some space for the Sunday school and user groups coming in. Obviously one was accessibility and the question of making sure that people who are members of our congregation could actually get into the building in a friendly manner. And just in a general sense, improving the outside of the building and making sure that the building was protected for the future.
If we're going to do many of these things, and just those necessary repairs will take a lot of money to do. If we're going to do that, we ought to be looking at things that we'd like to do as well, things, ministry-oriented things, such as changes to the chancel, such as the lift, which is a symbol of our caring for each other. So altogether, the architect has presented us with a really neat package, an integrated way of solving the problems, solving the things we need to do, while at the same time enhancing the building for ministry purposes too.
As far as general involvement in the project goes, I think that's been the most exciting part of it for me. I've seen more people coming forward and volunteering to participate in the process, and it's really been quite easy to get people to come in and volunteer their time, volunteer their resources, volunteer their skills to really become a part of this whole building project and the stewardship campaign itself. I've certainly phoned and talked to a large number of people over the past few months, right from the early planning stages right to the current point, and we've really seen an enormous response from people, and it's just been terrific. It's been really quite rewarding and quite satisfying.
Well, I think maybe there'll be people be able to come to church that haven't before, and take myself, I'm going to senior here, and I never know the day that I may need that accessibility.
We've been wanting for years to change the way the choir members face the congregation in order to improve the sound quality in the room, and I think that's gonna have a tremendous impact.
That people won't be freezing in the middle of winter, that they'll be warm and that they will feel that it's more of a home for them that shelters them.
I think the renovations are going to be a sign that Burton Avenue is still moving.
I visited one of our members as an elder, and she said one of the problems was trying to get up the stairs. So having a better access for her, I'd like to see her be able to come up and sit in among the congregation, because I really miss having her.
I think some of the things that make Burton Avenue special for me are the people, first of all, the music, which is just a wonderful thing to be a part of, and all the worship, the activities, the things that we do as families and friends. All of it comes together so that when I come on a Sunday morning or some other day when there's an activity here, it feels like you're coming home again.
Of course, this community is expanding so rapidly. I think there's great potential for growth here at Burton Avenue Church.
There are names and voices in the past that we all remember, that we've heard about, that we may not have met, but we know that they've made a significant contribution to this congregation, and I think that's one of the things that really makes me recognize how important it is to ensure that Burton Avenue is here for a long, long time in the future. There are a lot of key names and faces that we all remember as part of our past at Burton Avenue United Church, and I think that's one of the important things for me, is recognizing that the commitment I'm making as a younger member of the congregation is really acknowledging the commitment that older members of the congregation made a number of years ago when they added the Christian education wing or when they did some other substantial renovations to the church. It's my turn now to participate in a project that is important for Burton Avenue for the next 50 years. And I think it's something that I feel an obligation, and other members of the congregation really feel a commitment and an obligation to pay something back to the church, and I think this is our opportunity to do that.